So Kevin McCarthy has had tenuous at best control of the House. He's finally pushed through after negotiating with Nancy Mason Company. He's pushed through a debt limit bill that I think it would be hard to frame as being very serious, but let's listen to his announcement, at least the beginning of his announcement about what passed today. Oh boy, we're gonna fix that.
The House Republicans just passed the only bill in Washington that lifts the debt limit.
Let's take another whack at that. Maybe full screen it. There we go. Let's try it again. Oofa doofa. This is going to be a rough one, folks. There we go.
The House Republicans just passed the only bill in Washington that lifts the debt limit, ends wasteful Washington spending, and puts America back on the right economic path. That we're going to limit the growth in the future. We're going to save by pulling back this unspent COVID money. We're going to grow this economy by making us energy independent again and getting more people, encouraging them back to work. The sad part here is now the Democrats need to do their job. The president can no longer ignore by not negotiating. Senator Schumer,
wait a minute. Let me just tell you what this is the equivalent of. Imagine, if you will, that a student, like let's say a high school student, didn't do their assignment. In fact, they're weeks late for handing in their assignment. They say they're not even going to do it at all, and then they find out they literally can't pass the class. They can't leave high school without turning in the assignment. So they beg the administration to let them do the assignment. And the teacher says, all right, fine. Do the assignment. Get it to me when you can get it to me. Then he hands in the assignment. Young McCarthy does. And he walks outside of the classroom and he tells the assembled student body, I've handed in my assignment, and now I want to see what the administration here at this school does with it. Will they have the courage to give it a passing grade? Because they haven't graded any of my assignments that I haven't turned in. They haven't done any of their job. That's what you're hearing from this clown. To the audacity to talk about what Democrats have done. Let's let him just really go into it. Let's let him go off. This clown.
He's got a plan. Put it on the floor. See if you can pass it, and then we can go to conference. But now the president can no longer put this economy in jeopardy. We lifted the debt limit.
The projection is wild.
Sent it to the Senate. We've done our job. The only body in here that's done theirs. The Senate, I got to give them credit. They did name March Maple Syrup Month, and they have thanked UConn and congratulated them for their basketball win. But they've done nothing when it comes to the economy or the debt limit.
Speaker McCarthy,
yes.
When it does go to the Senate ultimately, and they inevitably make changes, this was already a very tight vote for your conference. How are you going to keep everyone on board when it seems like even minor tweaks could mean someone falls off?
That's so interesting because all your questions before is how could I ever pass the bill? All your questions before says we never could. We're the only body that passed anything. Why do you assume the Senate can pass anything? Because I haven't seen them do anything. So right now, this is the only place that has lifted the debt limit. So the Democrats are putting the country in jeopardy. The president, by ignoring to even negotiate. The majority of Americans overwhelmingly want us to sit down and negotiate, to make sure we end our dependency on China.
All right, I'm not going to let McCarthy just ramble on. He's not saying anything of value. I do just want to say, I think there's a non-zero chance that McConnell, as the fella in control of Republicans in the Senate, McConnell might just power through, like might make concessions to Democrats that he wasn't going to make before, just to make McCarthy look dumb. Because he does not like McCarthy, and with good reason. McCarthy is a needless headache, while McConnell is just trying to steal from Americans, like a regular politician. He's just trying to do, normal theft, as opposed to McCarthy's destructive theft. McConnell's trying to slowly bleed Americans. Well, McCarthy really doesn't even have an understanding of what he's doing. Let's have a look at Senator Sheldon Whitehouse's response. And by the way, thank you, Franny P, for the clip. This is just exactly what I was hoping to find. You did the work for me. I appreciate it.
The MAGA wish list that Speaker McCarthy released last week is DOA. His Default on America plan is dead on arrival. It is so damaging and so unpopular to the American people that MAGA Republicans are using secret backroom deals and default threats to jam through cuts that would never pass in public. But when it comes to protecting their wealthy fossil fuel donors, they spare no expense. Not only would this cost 780,000 jobs, it would also shrink the economy by $146 billion next year, with cuts up to 33% for border security, law enforcement, job training, affordable energy, opioid treatment, housing, food programs, and health insurance. For big donors, McCarthy's proposal would also slash IRS enforcement capacity to go after wealthy tax cheats, a move that would add nearly $120 billion to the deficit. The U.S. Constitution lays out transparent tools to raise revenue and determine government spending. It happens through bicameral legislating, through the budget and appropriations processes, not through hostage-taking and blackmail on behalf of fossil fuel mega donors.
Boom.
This Default on America plan shows how captured the Republican Party is by the fossil fuel industry.
It's just real quick. Chuck Schumer not really, not exactly raising the roof there. It's sort of, well, now let's not go too crazy.
Almost 280 pages of this 320-page bill are devoted to fossil fuel giveaways, resending the clean energy tax credits on which they are campaigning in their home districts, the projects that they support.
Really understand that, because this is a common Republican phenomenon. Remember that and this is not new to MAGA, this is how Republicans operate. The playbook is run the government as badly as you can, and then run on saying you will defund the government, which does not work for the people. Well, when that's your playbook, you tend not to bring home much of use for your community, don't you? It's very profitable to run the government badly because you get to privatize things and your buddies give you kickbacks in all kinds of forms. So, what do Republicans end up doing when they need to tell their constituents, I'm out there working for you? Well, they take credit for what they fought the Democrats to not pass, what they tried to prevent Democrats from passing. Republicans take credit for it. They say, well, I was in office, you got blank, and you got blank. X, Y, and Z. Not mentioning the fact that they voted against X, Y, and Z. Hey, Republicans at home, everything you like about the government was provided to you by liberals. You like Social Security? Lefties. Do you like, I don't know, the military not being a privatized organization? Believe it or not, lefties. Do you like, I don't know, you're a black conservative? Do you like not being enslaved? Lefties, man. Literally everything decent. I'm not even saying the left is always right. They're not. But they're honestly trying to make the government work. Everything, literally everything decent about the government, at least that I can think of, was brought about either by a left-winger themselves or a right-winger caving to pressure from the left. Just so you know. All right, let's let this man's on a roll. Let's let him bring it home.
Going back to leaking wasteful methane emissions without penalty.
Wait a minute. I forgot the other thing I wanted to say. Republicans took out tax breaks for businesses in this. The green energy that he was talking about. That wasn't going to cut into fossil fuels. That was going to help establish additional energy. Republicans are voting against energy independence for the United States. They say you must. Yeah, that look on this guy's face, that's how I feel. Republicans are saying you must be reliant on early 1900s technology, or you're what, a goofy hippie? I actually am a goofy hippie, and I'll tell you, you don't need to be reliant on 1900s technology, or rather, you don't have to be trying to get away from 1900s technology to be one. That's just advancing technologically. They're not just against social progress, Republicans. They're against technological progress. They want us to fight the next war with last century's technology. Well, frickin' China's, tooling around in laser tanks or whatever they managed to invent because they're not putting up with this nonsense. Republicans, quit making us weak.
A permitting reform described especially for the fossil fuel industry, designed especially for the fossil fuel industry. And of course, obstacles to the agencies that protect clean air and clean water from fossil fuel polluters. They're proposing to roll back progress on the climate crisis, putting their fossil fuel overlords over hundreds of thousands of clean energy workers, including those in their very districts. The message is stark: polluters first, people second. This isn't about debt and deficits. It's not about limiting, saving, and growing. It's not about defunding woke government. It's about the big fossil fuel donors that keep them in power.
Yes.
In this case, the woke screen truly is a smoke screen, and the smoke is from all the extra oil and gas the fossil fuel industry would have us burn. DOA is dirty, and DOA is dead.
I believe it was the words of a middle-aged church aunt that I'm quoting when I say, What on earth, Republicans? You did all that. You made such a big damn deal about all this for what? To have a weaker United States. Tax breaks for people with yachts and mansions. That's what all this was for. And if you're wondering what's going to happen, I don't know. It's pretty standard for the party in control of one chamber to come out and say, ha, we did it perfect. And then the party in control of the other to come out and say, they did it terrible. We hate it. Then they negotiate and you come somewhere in between. Look, the teeth have already been taken out of McCarthy's bill with that practice of just pushing down his promises to the next generation of Republicans, wherever they may be, even if it's him. it's going to get negotiated, and I believe it'll be fine. But you see where their priorities are. And they're the same as they've always been. Man, they're just the same. We have MAGA making them more crude, I guess. We have MAGA being more obnoxious and demanding more attention. And therefore, to their detriment, to Mitch McConnell's chagrin, getting more attention on stuff like this. But the goals are the same. Bleed out your wallet. I don't have much to bleed out in mine, but what I have, yeah, they're going to try to take. And they're going to give it to their rich friends. That's the Republican Party. That's a big chunk of the Democratic Party, too. But that's the entirety of the Republican Party. MAGA, GOP, doesn't matter. That's who they are. That's the scam. It's a criminal organization. It's a fraudulent organization. They lie to you about what they're doing. They lie about why they're doing it. Fox News exists because of this. It exists and is funded to sell the American people these lies. And we keep falling for it. When we have Americans that have the courage, in fact, right-wingers around the world, when right-wingers around the world develop the courage to confront these lies, we will enter in to an age of progress. I mean technological, scientific, industrial, on all fronts. We're going to enter into an age of progress that will truly be something the universe has never seen before. The technology at our fingertips now is enough to make a utopia. Or something damn close to it. The ability's here, but the ignorance has to go. Vote blue if you're in the United States in 2024. If you're in a different country and you're looking at this, point to it, because this will be an other. Us in the United States will be the other. Let us be that. Make fun of us for the clown show that we are these days, and don't let your right-wingers be as gullible as ours. Tease us for the greater good, and hopefully so that we feel the embarrassment we should feel in this country, and we get motivated to do decently. Link in the description. Vote in those primaries. Go as far left as you can, and then, even if you gotta suck it up, even if you don't like it, you vote blue no matter who in the general. Because the alternative is fascism. Oh, and more rich guys smugly spending our money. Let's see what the Wicked community has to say.